You. Went into outer space. You.
Sure. You've never been?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the animated TV episodes that offer endless enjoyment with each watch. Whether it be due to Easter eggs, iconic moments, or their exploration of certain characters. It goes without saying, but a spoiler warning is now in effect.
The reason anyone would do this, if they could, which they can't, would be because they could, which they can't.
Number 20, Dude, we're getting the band back together, Phineas and Ferb. Arriving halfway through Phineas and Ferb's first season, this musical episode serves as a welcome shakeup to the Disney Channel's original's established formula. With their parents' anniversary on the horizon, the titular stepbrothers team up with their sister Candace to reunite the rock band Love Handle for an all-time celebration.
Oh, hey, Stacy. I can't talk right now. My brothers and I are reforming Love Handle for a concert in our backyard.
Love Handle? That's my mother's favorite band! Hey, Mom! Did you know Love Handle is reforming?
Meanwhile, Dr. Doofenshmirtz set aside his evil schemes by recruiting Perry to help throw his daughter a birthday party. As is to be expected, this episode is packed to the brim with some tremendously catchy songs as the Love Handle trio rediscover their love of music. But it certainly doesn't skip on the heart either, sneaking its way right into a touching finale where everything that can go right does go right. Number 19, 1 + 1 = Ed, Ed, and Eddie. This Cartoon Network staple would be weird enough if its kooky assortment of characters lived in a completely normal world. But they don't, and an episode like this demonstrates just how strange their world can get.
That's the spirit! Let's get educated! Shall we begin our journey of knowledge at Ed's house?
When the Eds seek to improve their lives through gaining knowledge, they open a can of worms that causes reality to fall apart around them. The neighborhood becomes a veritable playground for the animators as the Eds remove Sarah's mouth, cut a hole in the sky, and give Ralph 2 more heads. And that's not even the half of it.
It's all become very complicated, Eddie.
It's a psychedelic visual feast that fittingly sums up the show's chaotic madness, and one that deserves to be studied by anyone seeking a career in the visual arts. Number 18, Bobby Goes Nuts, King of the Hill. Low-hanging fruit may not be the most impactful source of comedy, but King of the Hill crafted one of its most memorable episodes by giving new meaning to the phrase.
There is only one person who can fight your battles for you. And I know you don't want to hear this, but that person is you.
Look at me! This can't fight!
Well, then take a boxing course at the YMCA.
After Hank encourages Bobby to take boxing lessons to boost his confidence, a misunderstanding lands the impressionable preteen in a self-defense class for women. If you're wondering what happens next, you might find a hint in the episode's title. The pride Bobby discovers by kicking wrongdoers directly in their manhood is undeniably juvenile. But we're kidding ourselves if we don't laugh uncontrollably each time he delivers that hysterical threat.
Let go of my purse! I don't know you!
Nevertheless, Peggy and Hank keep the show's message in focus by steering him straight and teaching him the value of approaching the world with empathy. Number 17, Channel Chasers, The Fairly Odd Parents. Epic isn't always a word that's used when discussing this Nickelodeon series, but this 3-parter earns that distinction. When Timmy Turner wishes for a magic remote allowing him to travel through his television, he's thrust headlong into a world of seemingly endless and endlessly humorous parodies.
Sweet! I'm in the Futurellis!
The show about a futuristic Italian-American family. The cool thing about this show is that all the characters are robots.
Combining tongue-in-cheek satire and various animation styles, everything from the History Channel, reality talent shows, and even fellow Nickelodeon series are up for grabs. But it's not all fun and games, as Timmy's quest to stop Vicky from using the remote to take over the world teaches him some hard lessons about growing up and self-reliance.
Do you think he heard the message?
You bet I did!
Timmy!
Wrapped up into a thrilling whole, it's a tribute to the power of imagination that honors the best that TV has to offer. Number 16, Days of Future Past, XMen the Animated Series. Now that Bishop is something of a mainstay on X-Men 97, surely it's worth revisiting where the time-traveling bounty hunter originated, right? Well, that's just one of the many reasons to return to this retelling of the classic X-Men storyline.
We rebels have a theory. If the assassination of the 90s never occurred,
then none of this misery would have happened? None of the Sentinels, none of the camps, none of the terminations?
With the team attempting to stop one of their own from causing events with drastic ramifications, Days of Future Past opens viewers up to alternate realities with startling revelations. Every possibility is both intriguing and terrifying to consider, but that's what makes it so captivating. With energetic action sequences to boot, this episode will leave you wondering who's right and who's wrong when it comes to topics like equality and justice.
I stopped the assassination.
then something else must have happened afterwards. Something that has made the future still turn out like this.
No matter how many times you watch it, you may never have a definitive answer. Number 15, Jeepers, It's the Creeper. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? If Mystery Inc. has a signature villain, it just might be the Creeper. With his hunchback, bulging eyes, and limited vocabulary, this green ghoul poses a clear and present danger to the gang in one of their most absorbing mysteries.
Were there any clues to who did this?
No, sir, but the guard handed us this blank paper and mumbled, "The flame will tell the creeper."
Like, who is this creeper anyway?
On top of supposedly being able to walk through walls, the clues at hand make his identity harder to sniff out than others. Having a tougher nut to crack means that this episode has a little more edge than the standard Scooby-Doo affair. The creeper certainly doesn't go quietly, and the gang's final confrontation with him is a surprisingly physical one.
It's Mr. Carswell, the bank president.
How about that?
If you need proof of how future iterations of this series were able to embrace a darker, more mature tone, look no further. Number 14, the late Philip J. Fry, Futurama. You know what they say, love is patient, love is kind. Our patience was certainly tested as Fry and Leela took their time making things official, but this may have been the first indication that they were always meant to be together.
Please, let me make it up to you. I'll treat you to a fancy birthday dinner tonight at Cavern on the Green.
Wow, that'll be the nicest place I've ever been stood up.
Not this time. No matter what happens, I swear I'll be there.
After helping Professor Farnsworth test his time machine, Fry finds himself trapped thousands of years in the future. To make matters worse, he misses an important date with Leela, and the latter becomes convinced that he's passed. Futurama doesn't shy away from marrying thought-provoking sci-fi with very human themes, and the lengths Leela goes to help bring Fry back is a preeminent example.
I have to admit, I was afraid you wouldn't make it.
That was the old Fry. He's dead now.
It's a love story quite literally for the ages, and one that any hopeless romantic can find comfort in. Number 13, The Wrong Jedi, Star Wars, The Clone Wars. It ultimately wasn't the show's last, but Season 5 of The Clone Wars would have been a bold yet fitting coda that most series only dream about. That's because it saw the Star Wars universe set up some of its most consequential storylines.
I never planned on killing you, but I will make you share my pain, Kenobi.
We thought things couldn't get more tense after witnessing Darth Maul's grudge match against Obi-Wan. But we were thrown for a loop in the finale, which sees Ahsoka standing trial after being falsely accused of attacking the Jedi Temple. Like the Hitchcock film it's named after, The Wrong Jedi is steeped in suspense, heartbreak, and shocking twist.
I'm here with evidence and a confession from the person responsible for all of the crimes Ahsoka has been accused of.
But it's the turning point in Ahsoka's relationship with Anakin that truly makes it an all-timer, and crucial to understanding the latter's disillusionment with the Jedi. Number 12, not what he seems, Gravity Falls. Like some of the greatest stories ever written, this episode of Gravity Falls is just as exciting to watch, even when you know about its monumental ending.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride, but it'll all be worth it.
With Mabel and Dipper losing faith in Grunkle Stan following his arrest, Not What He Seems opens up an emotional floodgate as the two are forced to make life-altering decisions on his behalf. In between this, however, is one of the most textured animated episodes out there. Combining the titular town's mysterious nature with gripping drama and the white-hot thrills of a prison escape, you'll remain invested even without knowing who can be fully trusted.
It's the final countdown, just like they always sung about!
For being the episode the entire series had been building up to, it's one that can also be enjoyed on its own merits. Number 11, Glued, Where's My Bob? Bob's Burgers. With its awkwardly sincere humor and eccentric ensemble of characters, Bob's Burgers is at its best when finding the best use for both. If there's one episode that does this better than the rest, it's this one.
Can you do 3 o'clock, Bob?
Yeah.
Great, this'll really put you on the map.
Wow, thank you.
With the titular restaurant catching a big break, all that stands between Bob and a career-changing interview is an ill-timed prank that leaves him stuck on the toilet, literally. As the entire town arrives to capitalize on the moment, Glued, Where's My Bob works overtime to give the supporting cast time to shine. As the series' 100th episode, the triumphant conclusion gives it the feel of a series finale.
Pins and needles, can't feel my legs. Going down.
But the Belcher family's unwavering embrace of one another also makes it a fantastic starting point for novices. Number 10, Intervention, The Spectacular Spider-Man. While certain adaptations of the symbiote storyline have come up short, this episode of The Spectacular Spider-Man isn't one of them.
We all just want to help.
Help? Help? It's a good one. How exactly do you plan on helping? Do my homework, maybe lower my GPA? Or borrow my camera, take some Spidey pics, because I do need the money.
The penultimate outing of Season 1 Intervention pays off 3 episodes worth of build-up as Peter Parker finally confronts his new suit and the damage it's done to his life. With heart, mind, and relationships hanging in the balance, Peter undergoes an emotional metamorphosis as the symbiote tests his willpower and his ultimate purpose as Spider-Man. It all amounts to one of the show's most gratifying moments when Peter is saved with a little help from his loved ones.
I'm stronger than you think.
A stirring salute to the character as a whole. It's perhaps the greatest example of what this show had to offer before its unjust cancellation. Number 9, The Hall of Egress, Adventure Time. Rare is the day that Finn the human is seen without his canine companion Jake. But this episode from Adventure Time's 7th season dares to show us just that.
Oh, well, now that's just great. You don't put traps in the foyer. The foyer is a safe space.
Trapped in a cave with a mysterious door blocking his only exit, Finn discovers he can only pass through by keeping his eyes shut. However, no matter how far he gets from the cave, he's sent back to where he was the moment he opens his eyes. It's a perplexing puzzle for both Finn and audiences alike, but one that offers universal lessons for both.
That must have been some cave.
No comment.
In many ways, the cave is a metaphor for life itself. It's full of unpredictable turns and setbacks that can all be navigated by embracing change and trusting your instincts. Number 8, Free Churro, Bojack Horsemen. This Netflix original takes full advantage of animation's limited possibilities. More than that, it matches its resplendent visuals with some of the greatest dialogue the cartoon medium has ever seen.
When people ask how I'm doing, I usually say, I am doing so great.
So it said something that Bojack can remain just as compelling when putting its faith in a single character in a single location. For nearly half an hour, the titular horse rants, mourns, and goes on several tangents while eulogizing his abusive mother. Free Churro is arguably the most sophisticated episode in a show full of them, and Will Arnett's delicate performance allows us to hang on to every word.
I was prepared for more cruelty. I was sure that she would get in one final zinger about how I let her down and about how I was fat and stupid and too tall to be an effective Lindy Hopper, how I was needy and a burden and an embarrassment. All that I was ready for.
It doesn't exactly make for easy viewing, but it's worth revisiting due to the questions it asks about how much the past should dictate the present. Number 7, Scott Tenorman Must Die, South Park. The no-holds-bars approach of this series is such that some of its best jokes don't even need a punchline to stand the test of time. For every episode with something to say about the world at large, there's one like this that takes a simple premise and runs wild.
I'm gonna get him! Cartman, can I give you some advice? What? Just let it go, dude. You're only out $16.12. Count your losses and move on. He's smarter than you. He is not smarter than me. He just charmed me, that's all. He's a charmer, that Scott Tenorman, but I'll get him someday.
After being scammed out of his money by the titular high schooler, a vengeful Cartman begins a chain of events that are the stuff of South Park legend. It seems like the 4th grader has finally met his match, but his most evil tendencies awaken in a last-minute twist that's so disturbing, it's brilliant.
Do you like it? Do you like it, Scott? I call it Mr. and Mrs. Tenorman chili.
It's amusingly over the top and extremely low all at once, which is precisely what makes it one of his signature moments. Number 6, almost got him, the Batman the Animated Series. A hero is only as great as their villains, and few episodes of television encapsulate that better than this one. While playing a game of poker, 5 of Batman's most iconic adversaries share stories about the times they nearly killed him.
You'd think one of us would have got him by now. I've come the closest.
Are you kidding? I was the one who nearly...
Nobody's come closer to snuffing the Batman than me.
The setup could have easily lent itself to the kind of dark subject matter Batman the Animated Series boldly embraced, but each tale is more thrilling and hilarious than the last, capturing the Caped Crusaders rogues gallery at their most intimidating and most inept. Despite telling 5 stories in one, nothing goes to waste as each character's relationship to Batman is fully fleshed out.
Almost got him.
Yes, if not for that infatuated feline.
It's one of the series' most purely entertaining episodes and embodies everything that made it such a game changer. Number 5, Pickle Rick, Rick and Morty. Of all the episodes that could have won Rick and Morty its first Emmy, we're glad it was this one. When Rick refuses to join his family at therapy, he devises the perfect solution, turning himself into a pickle.
It totally slipped my mind. Jeez, oh man, I'm a pickle. I mean, I don't know if I can. Ooh, jeez. Rick, did you do this on purpose to get out of family counseling?
Morty!
It's okay, Beth. I understand Morty's suspicion. I've misled him before.
The crazed scientist's new look alone was enough to inspire countless internet memes. But Pickle Rick backs up its zany premise by taking Rick on an action-packed adventure through the sewers and beyond. His exploits are enough to convince you that he's the smartest being in the universe, while also painting a surprisingly complex portrait of his family's dynamic.
Rick, why did you lie to your daughter?
So I wouldn't have to come here.
Why didn't you want to come here?
Because I don't respect therapy. Because I'm a scientist.
This episode ruminates on the lengths Rick is willing to go to avoid his problems, balancing the show's penchants for extravagant science fiction and existential themes perfectly. Number 4, The Tales of Ba Sing Se, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Even without heart-racing action, the heroes of Avatar continue to grow by facing their insecurities and using them as motivation to finish their quest. The stage show performed by the Ember Island players offers this kind of candid reflection in a hilariously meta way.
We constantly roam these icy South Pole seas, and yet never do we find anything fulfilling.
All I want is a full feeling in my stomach. I'm starving.
But The Tales of Ba Sing Se stands out for doing it 6 times over. Told through a series of vignettes, each segment follows the characters throughout the Earth Kingdom city. Zuko pursues romantic connection, Katara and Toph have a spa day, and Iroh gives back to others before creating a moving tribute to his son. Allowing the group to catch their breath may sound like harmless fun, but it's a breathtaking reminder to the audience of what remains at stake.
How was your night, Prince Zuko?
It was nice.
Number 3, back to the pilot, Family Guy. Brian and Stewie's adventures have provided Family Guy with some of its most enjoyable and original stories.
What? What do you mean our credit card was declined? Oh, no, there's no need to come up. We'll, blast!
We were oh so tempted to give the spot to the greatest and most multiversal of their Road to episodes. But even we can't deny how well Back to the Pilot honors what made the show great to begin with. Quahog has changed a lot since our first visit, and the idea is milked for everything it's worth when the dog and baby travel back to the moment in question. Although their time in the past comes with consequences, there are more than enough cheeky references to reward longtime fans for their commitment to the series.
Stop, both of you! What the hell? Who are you? We're you from the future. Oh boy, this can't be good news. Who screwed up?
In other words, this is a 10-season celebration done absolutely right. Number 2, Band Geeks, SpongeBob SquarePants. This Nickelodeon juggernaut has too many quintessential episodes to count. We'd be hard-pressed not to try a hot slice of Krusty Krab pizza, and we certainly wouldn't close the door on SpongeBob and Patrick's chocolate pitch either. So why does the Bubble Bowl remain the most irresistible offering?
I was hoping you and your band could cover for us. Oh, I knew it! You don't even have a band! Well, I'll just let you get back to the service industry now.
Well, not only does this episode close on a crescendo for the ages, but the journey there is just as rewarding. Serving up sight gags and quotable one-liners galore, Man Geeks delivers with its unbeatable timing. Encompassing the show's timeless blend of silly and sweet to a T, it's hard not to be moved as Bikini Bottom rallies behind Squidward in his hour of need. It's a victory as anthemic as the song they perform.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Homer's enemy, The Simpsons. Homer Simpson's many escapades and accomplishments seem too amazing to be true, and that's because they are. But if there's one thing this series has taught us not to question, it's this oafish patriarch's startling amount of luck.
Hey, you seem like a great guy, so I'll give you a little tip. If you turn that security camera around, you can sleep and no one will ever know.
I don't think we're being paid to sleep.
Oh yeah, they're always trying to screw you.
Enter Frank Grimes, an ambitious professional driven mad by how little stands in Homer's way. In an episode that's equal parts dark and darkly hilarious, Grimey sets out to expose Homer's incompetence, and his lack of results ultimately gets the better of him. In the process, the writers spare no expense in taking shots at themselves and boiling the show's illogical nature down to its essence.
Ooh, I eat like a slob, but nobody minds. Blah, 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 blah. I'm peeing on the seat! Give me a raise!
Some still consider it one of The Simpsons' strangest episodes, but we'd argue it's one of the most ingenious. Is there a TV episode you can't get enough of? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below.
Dude, I think it might be best for us to never piss Cartman off again. Good call. Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy, yummy, you guys.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.